this little number start clicking, and that means it's actually doing everything it's supposed to.
So it is. I can just make it out.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Without
my glasses, I know that it's changing, and
I can see some activity there.
It wasn't that they were saying that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get started here. Give yourself a round of applause for being here one more time, one last time, one final time before the change comes and before that happens. Thank you. I'm Dan Brady, the host of this long-running poetry open mic. I'm going to do a couple of... Oh, he's going to do that. I'm going to do something, two things. One is that although I have been and probably will be for some time central to this, I'd rather be, the center. I'd rather be central rather than centered, and that's why I'm having people help me out doing little things like a co-host and handing out the sheets and making announcements and things like that. So eventually, it'll be a cooperative thing, and I won't be the only person up here doing things like this to embarrass himself. Second thing is what I call Proposition 1. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of that. It's still in formation. But Proposition 1 is basically the idea that warfare as a social institution is insupportable, immoral, and completely wrong. Now, there's many definitions of war. You can use whichever one you want. But last time I did this vote, we had 100% ascension to the fact that war is not good and needs to be eliminated from society or the world, as it were. Now, I don't expect we'll always get 100% because depending on how you define war. So I'm asking for a simple raise of hands of yes, I'd like war to end. Anybody war to end? Okay. So again, we have 100%. Thank you so much. That could grow. The next thing is, what is the next thing? Oh yes, I'm very happy to be here. Hal is my co-host for the evening. Give him a round of applause here. He's responsible, not like this truly. He's going to read the announcements, which I normally read. I'm going to sit down and make sure he's framed correctly in that thing there. And then if anybody wants to help me with the filming thing and watching the camera, that's fine. Just let me know. We'll take care of that. Distribution of responsibility. Who was it? It wasn't Tom Sawyer. What was the guy that did the white fence?
That was Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer. Okay, Tom Sawyer and the fence. That's what I'm talking about here. Where he talks people into doing something for him, gets paid for that, and then gets rewards. But here it means we're going to try to do this together, and I'll let Hal take it up from here. Give him a round as he comes up to do the announcements while I sit down and seize my self-enjoyed embarrassment.
Well, thank you, Dan Brady.
Thank you.
Yes, we have enough here to start, which is a good thing. So let's have a big hand for Teddy and Fiona, our hosts. And please support this reading by buying food and drink that's served here. I also see that we are reminded to respect the mic, which means keep conversations to a whisper, put devices on mute, vibrate, or airline mode. I don't know if vibrate's a good idea, but stopping them is a good idea. Tonight's feature we must have, but Dan, I don't know who it is.
Oh, Natasha Dennerstein, who is right here. Give her a round of applause. She's been here before. Thank you. Thank you.
And the keynote, you have that?
The keynote is Karen Melander-Magoon, who is not in the house.
Yet, but we look forward to seeing her. And the last word will be
Gary. Known for his performances.
Known for his performance as Trump Raby.
I thought I was the keynote.
Oh no, you are the keynote. Gary is the last word. Sorry, I made a mistake. Sorry. Can I say that again?
All right. Natasha is the feature. The keynote is Owen Dunkel.
Yes.
And
Karen is the mini feature.
Karen Melander-Magoon is the mini feature, and the last word will be by Gary, a.k.a. Trump Rabies.
Thank you.
And please note the link, and streaming is handy in many ways. If you can't be here, you can view in. If you want someone to see you live, they'll be able to. And if you want to hear so-and-so's poem again, you can. If you want to do a self-critique, that's also good. And it is a good way to put out the word, since nobody respects anything that isn't on TV or mediated by electronic contraptions. The ongoing theme is never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Signed, Margaret Mead. Hello, Bella.
Karen, you give her a round if she comes in.
the theme of tonight. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, trafficked women is the theme.
Trafficked women.
That's the day's specific theme, not the general ongoing.
Okay, well, it would have been good to know that. I wish I had. Now, the Fabulous Door prizes.
Oh,
here.
yes.
And so my assistant, Dan Brady, will hold them up. Here is Gravity's Rainbow, the famous novel by Thomas Pynchon. And then if you have read the first 2 volumes of the Baroque Cycle by Neil Stevenson, here is volume 3. It's a wonderful work, which in its entirety of thousands of pages was written with a quill pen. And here is Poetry Review. I can't see which.
It is. It doesn't have a. I'm looking for a date here.
Well, we know the brand.
Well, we know.
You know what's likely to be in there.
Copyright 2016. So these
Very
are
recent.
relatively new individuals.
Yes. And
This
another.
is Big Screen number 53. Scream. As in, I scream, you scream, we all scream.
Big Scream.
Scream number 53, and this is number 54. Just in case.
And as a minor prize, we might throw in with the rest is this coupon for what is it?
Oh, it's for Rainbow Grocery.
For
20%.
Rainbow Groceries, 20% off. You know, every little bit helps. And in addition, you can choose to do the main feature, the keynote, or decide the last word or the theme. So these are available as valuable prizes. Has everyone had an opportunity to sign the sign-up sheet?
As anybody is.
Greg and,
Oh, I'll put Greg on right now.
and the lovely young opera singer.
Oh, Karen, we got her. She's the new, but I'm going to put Greg Pond on even as I speak, and I'm thanking Mr.
Then
Pond for
I
being
guess
here.
that's everyone.
I think that's everyone and
So
everything.
who is the first on that sheet?
Well, we have the keynote, Mr. Owen Dunkel, who will kindly come
Good.
forward and
Let's
hold
bring up
for
Owen Dunkel right now, the keynote speaker.
keynote for the evening. Alrighty, Dave.
We can hear you.
Well,
I can't.
Okay,
There now.
there we go. Now we're
all
talking.
right. Just in case you can't hear me, I recited some 2 poems by Wallace Stevens and 1 by Dylan Thomas. Disillusionment of 10 o'clock. The houses are haunted by white nightgowns. None are green or purple with green rings, or green with yellow rings, or yellow with blue rings. None of them are strange with socks of lace and beaded censures. People are not going to dream of baboons and periwinkles. Only here and there an old sailor, drunk and asleep in his boots, chases tigers in red weather. Domination of black. At night by the fire, the colors of the bushes and of the fallen leaves repeating themselves turned in the room like the leaves themselves turning in the wind. Yes, but the color of the heavy hemlocks came striding, and I remembered the cry of the peacocks. The colors of their tails were like the leaves themselves, turning in the wind, in the twilight wind. They swept over the room just as they flew over from the bough of the hemlocks down to the ground. I heard them cry, the peacocks. Was it a cry against the twilight or against the leaves themselves turning in the wind, turning in the as the flames turned in the fire, turning as the tails of the peacocks turned in the loud fire, loud as the hemlocks, full of the cry of the peacocks? Or was it a cry against the hemlocks? Out of the window, I saw how the planets gathered like the leaves themselves turning in the wind. I saw how the night came striding like the color of the heavy hemlocks. I felt afraid, and I remembered the cry of the peacocks. Now I'll read one by Dylan Thomas. The force that through the green fuse drives the flower. The force that through the green fuse drives the flower, drives my green age, that blasts the roots of trees is my destroyer. And I am dumb to tell the crooked rose, my youth is bent by the same wintry fever. The force that drives the water through the rocks dries my red blood, that dries the mouthing streams, turns mine to wax. And I am dumb to mouth onto my veins, how at the mountain spring the same mouth sucks. The hand that swirls the water in the pool, stirs the quicksand that ropes the blowing wind, hauls my shroud sail. And I am dumb to tell the hanging man, how out of my clay is made the hangman's line. The lips of time leach to the fountain's head. Love drips and gathers, but the fallen blood shall calm her sores. And I am dumb to tell a wither's wind, how time has ticked to heaven around the stars. And I am dumb to tell the lover's tomb, how at my sheet grows the same crooked worm. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Owen Dunkel, our keynote for the evening. He'll be back at the open. All right. Oh, I forgot to hand him this, Owen. That's the attribution. This is in case you read something by somebody else, you let me know the name and
Yes, I'm sorry. I should have mentioned that. If you read something by someone else, you're supposed to put it on the attribution sheet, so it will be recorded later on. Who is next, Dan?
Thank you.
Who's next?
Oh, sorry, I am so remiss in my duty. We have the marvelous, magical, and maleficent, no, I shouldn't say maleficent. Jack Melander is up, please. Come on up. And we'll arrange the microphone for him and everything. Can you move the stand about a foot this way? Yeah, because I want to center it better without having the background.
Background can wash you out.
Jack,
Yes, there we go.
Could I ask a question real quick? Sure. Your last name is Melander? You know, her middle name is Melander.
My
Melander.
first name, my maiden name is Melander.
Yes, I've made that mistake so many years in a row, I can't apologize enough for
Yeah,
it.
it must be a difference between the Norwegians and the Swedes.
I know
Mine
it's on
was
the
named
end.
American Vandermelon or something a while ago.
Oh, and I
nobody
was
could find
Melander the Andersson.
Oh, well, now we're having it.
Yeah.
That's Slavenberg.
Oh, you know, one of Blake's favorite poems was Swedenborg.
Oh, yes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Give him a nice little bit of a round here. We got a little bit of conversational distraction. And now, Jack, you're on.
This is a traffic woman poem. It's called Workout. Who loves to skate the city hills so late the dealers have gone home, achieves the most sublime thrills about the wheelback streets to roam on discs of silent neoprene. Or turning in a slow sachet, a fishnet nymph will notice him as gliding through the gloaming scene, and nobody enamoring him. He causes her to pause a while. Before her latchkey finds its way, she throws him with her weary smile. He wonders what it's meant to say. The fervor of the exercise can invigorate and energize the ardor of this exercise. Try Afro-endorphins and be wise. It's called capital. These capitalists, it's not so much that they like a win-win situation as it's just if nobody wins if they don't. Retro advisors. That star you're aiming at, Eve, it's actually a galaxy flying away, far too large to dislodge with a clock, already further away than any star of ours, much further than our Sirius, on which you're now drawing a bead. If the dog star itself is so very far, there are gems for your hair on our own planet Earth. Why not look closer for beings of worth? One day, when we have arrayed the stars and reined in the outbound galaxies and gardened the skies to go with your gown, you'll have the tiara you seek, toward which quest we must burn from the earth. So far, we've ruled out one tree. This is called insomnia. Enough sleep is something the best never get, for there are too few of them, as they know. The worst ever get enough sleep, though, dumb to compassion's duty yet. This is called backdrop. At night, our farther lucky stars in countless numbers send their beams, yet neath our daytime one it seems much fear dark fortune ever harm. This is called paradox. The tackling techno-kid ascends obedient, time-zoning bandwagon, the bad programmer. His rhymester brother shuns paths so expedient to shape his nesting worlds of anti-grammar. This is called proposal. Where the Beltway hits the toll road, America will have to pay the piper, where clever but short-sighted minds feed trinket factories of extinction. Let all our egged-out scapegoated ostracized, blacklisted, disenfranchised paradigms, the true worthies among us, get a good, long, hearty belly laugh when our duly elected reach an agreement on rapture. It's called democracy. Think with the rank and file forego that those empowered favored know and ease the chance, leg up, head start at any worthwhile human art the vast majority can't show. This is called up is not out. Up is not out, but onward, of course, hence up not being out. It can only be in, of which fact now cognizant we can figure the sunrise is something the earth herself is doing all along her dawn spin.
So, thank you very much. Thank you, Jack. And then Owen's coming back on the open because the keynote always reads somebody else's poems, and so Owen's going to read his
coming
own.
down. So
Yeah, Owen is coming back.
Back again.
Back again, please.
Yeah.
Owen, it's time for you to come back.
Okay.
Okay, the first poem always called Venus and Scorpio. I dream of the perfect romance, love frail as a metaphor, in the queer quiet of the library sea, in the timid streets of the quiet blush of Symphony Cinema's flowers, wandering like a lovesick drunk dawn under the moon, sitting quietly through the cunning roisterings of the burghers of rhyme, pretending to be alive, walking towards the ninepins calling the cattails, each poem like a literary voyage, setting out to the proles at a local tavern. In the sun she dreams of gentlemen, dueling in her honor, dueling in her honor. This poem, Alice Rogoff didn't like it. She said it didn't really reflect Spanish culture. Anyway, I'm reading it now. Cinco de Mayo. An electric wail sighs through the wall. Triumphant pizzicato travels like a snake along the traffic, parks up to the quiet ghost of a different muse. Cupid's lips arise to the dance of flashing flamenco heels. Chateaulet, senors y senoritas, in the smoky quiet of the lateness of the afternoon, of the torpid sullen flamenca, passing into the lateness of the cobra-like coilings into the suffering evening. Senoritas, throw a rose from your lace mantilla to the cold gaze of the matador. Muleta poised under his chin, and the hot afternoon bull ring, bowing and scraping for a kill.
I disagree. I think that's right.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Litany of sound. My spirit races back and forth on the mind of the SS Orizaba, chasing after the ecstasy of Hart Crane's metaphors. A lady on the bus stares at me, lust or anger. My mind rolls in on a porphyro of reason. A large eye staring at the roar of a party. The lake of fire stares through the eye of stormblood. My mind become there in the eye of the eternal calm of midday doldrums. The eye of the dragon poises on the eyelids of a grain of sand at the calm of the end of a brackish day. Poem of horses. The clouds of daylight my gaze have studied abandoned in the quiet of a North Beach afternoon. Jack Kerouac has the baleful eye of the hero of spontaneous prose. Lawrence Ferlinghetti would be St. Francis of Assisi. Hail, monarch of North Beach letters. Ashcan metaphors form on the icicles of his eyelids. My mind at love's loose ends, chasing the birds of would-be whimsy, of would-be fancy, into the voice of the evening. To Glenn Gould, because of the keyboard of endless imagination, from his fingering into the night of his very own Bach of endless harmonic persuasion of the saintly psyche of time and the grace of being, of the quiet severity of his mastery set aside, from his wings sent to heaven, and from his very own sighs of angels. Alienated from my own poems, from my own use of language, metaphors pass by, images like flowers that droop in the desert. An alternative to her holy God struck a radical, terrible, swift blow. To Vassar Miller, life a vast reductum ad absurdum, the brain a vast reducing valve, my metaphors walking alongside me like Old Testament oxen, suffer a sea change, becalmed in the vast doldrums of space. You came to me like a vision, like a late espoused saint full of cunning simplicity, and the long flowing senses of your company, and southern lace curtains, the small town of midday quiet and elegance. Soar above me like a dominion, my angel of language.
Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, one no go. Oh, I'm sorry. I should put that in front of you. I got it. Thanks. Oh, Edward Mike Q. I think you're right. Yes. Isn't that getting the right transitions up here? And then we'll make the arrangements to frame the young man in as flattering a way as we possibly can.
It's not already.
Well,
The lonely road to the San Francisco Mint. 7 miles north from 7 Mile House into San Francisco to the ferry building, while east a central California valley morning truly fog burned off into a sun's golden angel rushing over the clown face we remembered as history, westering above the city, and out over the Pacific Ocean's far scattered island kingdoms into the Asian Orient. But first, come back to San Francisco's Bay Edge, to those flats where a Pony Express stopped and may have stayed overnight at 7 Mile House. It's still there since 1853 on Bayshore, still a lonely boulevard at San Francisco's southern end, where today Brisbane begins at Geneva Avenue. Go north 7 miles to the ferry building and Mission Street. Then go west up a mile to the old San Francisco Mint, where Wells Fargo stagecoaches changed the payloads, having first pawed and paused at 7 Mile House, maybe stayed the night, delivered the mail, exchanged passengers, fed and watered the hard-pressed horses, setting out again into a night or dawn, hooves pounding on that still lonely Bayshore road to San Francisco.
nice.
7 Mile House is a great venue for jazz, and many of my older friends, I'm included in those older friends, have gone out there, but it's a long way, and it's a lonely way. Island.
Still doing jazz there?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes, the Filipino restaurant.
Islands.
You've been there, Kara. You've been there, pretty sure.
Islands. Recall the old Zen story of the person who comes to an obstruction right in the middle of the journey of my life and sees three choices. 1, attempt to force advantage. 2, just go around it. 3, turn about and go back. Find some other highway to begin with on another way. Person, that's maybe me, does the Zen thing and just sits there and meditates. And after some time notices, wow, hot dog stands, veggie bars, shops, bookstalls, discos that have been set up by other travelers who pause and sees that they have created a whole new unplanned community. One day, I find a circus nearby, and as Ohms would have it, meet a lama selling mantras. Om Padmos Nisima Va Vamali Humfa is said in the Christic Dakasta Sutra that he or she who sees, hears, remembers, or touches this prayer will be purified of negativity and gain freedom from rebirth in the lower regions. Person, Ed, begins to reproduce the mantra on saffron-colored strips, and then later with pastels, paper, cloth, plastic, tin, but not leather, And then with more primary colors, also with light printing on darker fields, and sells them cheaply at some recitations of his life so far, making many friends, including a balloonist who offers him a ride up and over the initial obstruction. And the story that goes on from there is one that other journeyers may navigate for themselves on this river of life when they come to their island right in the middle of their life.
Thank you, Ed Mike Hugh.
I believe John Rhodes is next.
John Rhodes is next. Thank you. Give him a nice round as he comes up.
So I actually have something topical. I usually don't, but I have something.
They can't see
Yeah,
it
I'll be
here.
over there in a second.
All right, all right.
But I just have some other stuff here just to remind you. I have some Juneteenth stuff. I have some surrealistic remedios borrowed. The Juneteenth is like Obama and Martin Luther King. And I have some Johanna and Mary Rudge. But anyway, I just moved, so I'm trying to make ends meet. So if you can help, please do. And so I have a problem selling my novel. I think it's really good. It's sort of, I would say it's kind of like Dreamtime. It's a reality that it's written as real, as a little bit of fact in it, and it's mainly fiction, and it's sort of in dream sequence almost. But it's about two hippies who were kidnapped, and sort of a dreamy story. So I'm going to sort of give away the plot here. I've never tried to do this and try to convince somebody to buy it. My eyes are going on me, so let's see if I can read this. It happens, the couple get married, they find their parents, they're having a honeymoon in Nepal. I think that's it. And the man is named David, the woman is named Maria. And so Maria takes a nap after having her baby, I think. And so I'm going to start out there. Maria awoke screaming. Everyone rushed into the room. Frightened, she recounted the dream, not knowing if she was retelling a nightmare or a long-forgotten memory. Louise said, I know that was a dream of remembering because we lived on Los Aguilas Street, which means eagle, and I had a painting of an eagle with a baby and the stars on the wall. This was like in Colombia. She's remembering something in a dream that happened in Colombia when she was kidnapped. It was a surrealistic painting of an old constellation. I had painted it with you in mind, my baby. That's her father talking in the dream. I brought with me my photo album and scrapbook with the very painting on. She couldn't remember when she was born. And let's see. I brought with me my photo. Let's see. I wanted to show it to you, but was waiting for the right time. He rose to retrieve it. Maria nearly screaming when she saw the painting and the pictures of the house. This is in a dream. Papa, the painting looks exactly the same as the dream, and the yeah, she's talking to her father about the dream. And the house is exactly as it was in the dream. I remembered. I am whole again. She remembered her father. Steve said, I wish I could remember before I was 2. That's, oh, and it's not Dave, it's Steve. I get confused. Steve Colt. Steve said, I wish I could remember before I was 2. That's her husband. Maybe I had been abused too and I have a repressed memory. So that sort of gives you an idea of the plot. And these are for sale too. And I think you'd really enjoy them if you read them. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
And next, Mr. David Airdrike.
David Airdrike.
The microphone.
The David Airdrike, as a matter of fact.
He adjusts his own.
First, I have a poem for Jack Melander.
Oh, good.
Well, don't clap till you hear it.
I was wrapping my knuckles.
Clap for the idea.
What's missing from your poetry is space. A place for the musical instruments, musical interlude. 2 bars, 4 notes, space. Your words run together, phrases nearly overlap. Your words run together, phrases nearly overlap, overlap. Your words run together, words, your overlap run together, nearly phrases run. Phrases, words. Please leave a little. Babadoo, babu. Space. Try not to run over my time with this one. I don't want to speed it up, but it's going to be close. I nurse at your breast, Mount Pam. I wash up thirsty on your shore, Alcatraz. I blow my sacks at your walls, Front Range of Colorado. They do not tumble down. I walk over the Rockies, 11,000 plus feet up at Pawnee Pass, 30 pounds on my back. Turtle old man, bridging the Great Divide. 40 years later, I cross that same Great Divide in Panama, where blue morpho flutters by my eye, iridescent like the sky, set on fire, then dipped to glass in the sea outlined in black, 2 wings as big as my 2 hands. I walk 2 for $5 up Half Dome, where my buddy thinks ice cream would make a great business up top. At its foot is the first place I see American Dipper walking upstream along the bottom underwater. I talk to the bears in Mather next to Yosemite. Also, climbing high in Big Bend, Texas, I talk to a bear, where I miss seeing the Colima warbler by 50 feet. Canyonlands, this for you, Dee. Canyonlands, this little section, Bryce, Zion, the Colorado is my source book, my divining, diving kingfisher, my Grand Canyon. As I kiss your instep, I worship delicate arch, where my muse put on her mitten butte, her Kachina mask in Monument Valley, handed me to the Valley of the Gods, which is not on your map. Crossing my path and screaming to a stop on the scree was a peregrine falcon in blasted slate blue breeding plumage. The rocks murmured your name. High Point, New Jersey to Bear Mountain Bridge, over the Hudson River, I've walked it, met scarab on that Appalachian Trail, Awasting, Mohonk, Minnewaska, Shonga, Wallkill flowing away from the equator, Bontecu Ledge. The ice age previous to the last one there was a Hudson River flowing deeper than the current one, a canyon below a canyon.
I canoed on Raquette Lake in the Adirondacks. I've climbed Camel's Hump in Vermont twice, where the ghost still lives in a small crashed plane. I've climbed Mount Chakarwa, blueberries at the crest, 2,000 feet up, and Mount Washington twice, once in the winter. The bowl of Tuckerman's Ravine, deadly to skiers in March, freeze-thaw avalanche. It possesses incredible acoustics. Half a mile away can sound right next to you. At 1.5, I rode the narrow gauge railway up Mount Washington. It too is now a ghost. You say you are Native American. I'm not Indian, but I too am a Native American. I have been through 49 states, Cape Cod, Cape May, the Everglades. We are here in Berkeley and San Francisco. In half an hour, I could lead you to salamanders, frogs, turtles, bald eagle, golden eagle, spotted owl, huckleberries. Although red fox is non-native and is pushing him, I know where gray fox lives in Hercules. This great delta is home to many human fish. My grandson comes from many tributaries. China, the Philippines, South Pacific Islanders, Hawaii, Portugal, Sweden, Romania, Poland. In my family, we do not split the tribes, we assemble them. We are all part of a Navajo rug that is constantly in process. Behind that hill, a mystery tale will surely unfold if you believe in the weave. You live in an urban environment. I live in a natural environment where I can find 6 edible mushroom species. Also, if you don't like your neighbor, I can show you the poisonous one and they can die very painfully. My grandmother's names were Annie and Anna. So this poem was written by N. Animus and N. Animus.
Thank you. Put it in right. Tom the plumes included. And I believe we have Hal Robbins next, then Caravita, then Dee, then me, then Martin Joseph, for God's sakes, who's in the house.
Yes,
and then our
that's
feature, I
an
believe.
Accurate summary.
Thank you.
A couple of sessions ago, I performed an excerpt from William Blake's long prophetic poem, Milton. And this is the way that poem begins. I think it's just about 5 minutes long. Whole beginning. Daughters of Beulah, muses who inspire the poet's song, record the journey of immortal Milton through your realms of terror and mild, moony luster and soft, sexual delusions of varied beauty, to delight the wanderer and repose his burning thirst and freezing hunger. Come into my hand, by your mild power descending down the nerves of my right arm, and from out the portals of my brain, where by your ministry the eternal great humanity divine planted his paradise, and in it caused the specters of the dead to take sweet forms in likeness of himself. Tell also of the false tongue, vegetated beneath your land of shadows, of its sacrifices and its offerings, even till Jesus, the image of the invisible God, became its prey, a curse, an offering, and an atonement for death eternal in the heavens of Albion, and before the gates of Jerusalem, his emanation in the heavens beneath Beulah. Say first, what moved Milton, who walked about in eternity 100 years, pondering the intricate mazes of providence? Unhappy, though in heaven he obeyed, he murmured not, he was silent, viewing his sixfold emanation scattered through the deep in torment. To go into the deep, her to redeem and himself perish, that cause at length moved Milton to the unexampled deed, a bard's prophetic song, terrific before the sons of Albion, in chorus solemn and loud, sitting at eternal tables, a bard broke forth. All sat attentive to the awful man. Mark well my words, for they are of your eternal salvation. 3 classes are created by the hammer of Los, and woven by Enoch Armon's looms when Albion was slain upon his mountain, and in his tent through envy of the living form, even of the divine vision and of the spirits of wisdom in the human imagination, which is the divine body of the Lord Jesus Christ, blessed forever. Mark well my words, for they are of your eternal salvation. Urizen lay in darkness and solitude, in chains of the mind, locked up. Los seized his hammer and tongs. He labored at his resolute anvil among indefinite druid rocks and snows of doubt and reasoning. Avoiding all definite form, the abstract horror roofed stony hard, and a first age passed over, and a state of dismal woe. Down sunk in fright a red, round globe, hot, burning, deep, deep down into the abyss, panting, conglobing, trembling, and a second age passed over, and a state of dismal woe. Rolled round in 2 little orbs, and enclosed in 2 little caves, the eyes beheld the abyss, lest bones of solidness freeze over all. And a third age passed over, and a state of dismal woe. From beneath his orbs of vision, 2 ears shot spiring out into the deep darkness, and petrified as they grew. And a 4th age passed over, and a state of dismal woe. Hanging upon the wind, 2 nostrils bent down into the deep, and a 5th age passed over, and a state of dismal woe. In ghastly torment, sick, a tongue of hunger and thirst flamed out, and a 6th age passed over, and a state of dismal woe. Enraged and stifled, without and within, in terror and woe, he threw his right arm to the north, his left arm to the south, and his feet stamped the nether abyss in trembling and howling in dismay, and a 7th age passed over, and a state of dismal woe. Thank you.
Thank you. And Robin.
Next we have Caravita coming up, so let's welcome her.
Give her a round, please. She's up, she hasn't been here in a while. And thank you, David, for that. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Wow. How awesome. I've never heard you ever before, and that was so exciting and wonderful. And that is true, Mr. Brady. I have not been here for
Quite a while, as my time becomes distorted. Many people's sense of time has become distorted. I wonder why. Propaganda. But I'm not here to get into any of that stuff tonight. I am here because I have not heard Natasha in a long time, and looking forward to hearing Natasha. I see Greg Collins, I see Dean Allen here, see some folks I haven't heard for a while, and it's always great to show up out of the blue. And the reason I'm here also is self-serving, but I'll get to that at the end of my little thing here. I was compelled and prompted to write something new, and it's very short. So I will be trotting this new short piece out in a few places because it's new for me and for you. So here we go. Deep down, deep, deep down, duende. I always knew it. No longer confused. Gone my self-doubts. At 72 years old, I am what I am, and that's all that I am, and I have always been gender fluid, free to be me. And if I may be so bold, please don't call me ma'am. I reject your fake respect. That's it. Self-serving thing here. San Francisco is one heck of a poetry kind of place. As I check out the the SF Heart and Poetry event calendar thingy, and there's always so much going on, and I got something going on. Yay, thank you for everyone who supports me and for everyone who supports us, and we all support each other, because that's what this is about. Because most of the time, I hate to say, but poets toil in obscurity. So I know it's sad, isn't it? Anyway, that's the way it is. It's a very kind of small little kind of thing. We're not pop stars. We're poets, and it's a small little kind of thing with our chapbooks and our books, and I don't know, baby. It's I'm glad we're all still doing it, because all the stuff is kind of stacked against us. But anyway, this Saturday and Sunday, a lot of stuff going on. I gotta say that. You can get it all in if you decide to just do a kind of poetry kind of thing. I'll be with some incredible poets. I'm very honored to be with them, included. Who are some of them? Let's see. That's this Saturday and Sunday at the North Beach Festival. It's been there a long, long time. It's, one of those, it's a cute little festival. It's manageable, and a lot of art and poetry. So this Saturday and Sunday and starts at 1 to 3. And it's located at Filbert and Grant. They have like a little poetry area there, a little wine bar there. I like to have a couple of glasses of that, loosen up. And for some reason, it's always kind of windy there. Wind's coming in off the bay there. It's a trip. I love North Beach. So if you all want to make a day of it, come on out there Saturday and Sunday and catch some poetry from 1 to 3:30. QR Hand, Michael Koch, Jessica Lose, Charles Curtis Blackwell. Well, I'm going to be in some good company. I'm very grateful to be included with this. Other people, really a lot of great people. So anyway, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and having a
Same
great
hours
time.
both days?
Oh yeah, same place, same time. And I have to recommend Nicole Savage's. That's how I found out about you being here tonight. Natasha.
SF Heart, yeah.
Yeah, SF Heart. It's a great way to find out what's going on, and we're still here in a great city, and we got to make it fun for ourselves while it lasts. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Just got to get out there and do it. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Carmita.
Next, D. Allen is coming.
D. Allen.
So let's give him a round of applause.
Two poems. From my third book, Stormwater. The title of this poem is also happens to serve as the first line in the poem. And only one of y'all in the house have heard this before. But for the rest of y'all, it's new to you. This is called At What Point Did Sitting Down Writing a Poem Expressing One's Disgust Toward the State Warrant Being a Punishable Offense? At what point does filling one's notebook or laptop computer with proud rhapsodies of rebellions from the grassroots worthy of insurrection become worthy of indefinite detention? When one family rule no one consented to feels threatened in Qatar. Verses that praise the beauty of a desert at sunset, sweetness of medjool dates, smiles of children playing on dirt roads don't raise eyebrows or get noticed as quickly as the sudden overthrow of the authoritarian show. Here in the USA, poets aren't imprisoned, but this land's government has fascistic tendencies. It can imprison someone for choosing to stay silent before a grand jury.
And for each person jailed then freed, another takes their place. The FBI ensures that. At what point does writing a poem become a punishable offense? When the writer calls the state out under offenses against us all and calls changes to the program. At that point, free speech will truly be dead here, and I will be doing a lifetime stretch on multiple offenses. That was called At What Point? And the last poem is from my second book, Unwritten Law. And this is a more tender, personal piece. This is called Downpour. Excessive pitter-patter on the roof. Reverberation from my wooden ceiling. Icy winter chill creeps from the red brick and cement wall. Skylight overhead is soaking wet. Northern California winter has returned. The early warm spring last week seems like a cruel practical joke. Gray, overcast, stop and start downpour. At least I have the necessity of shelter already met. Black sheet, black bedspread, black cup of hot peppermint tea keeps their chill from settling into my bones. I'm most concerned for class society's disowned children, forced to exist outdoors. For the brother with the full backpack, assaulted with quick falling raindrops, bedroll in his left hand, dragging a large suitcase with his right across drenched sidewalks. For the aging, gray-haired woman huddling under a store awning as asylum from the hard downpour. For the emaciated bearded man with limp stringy hair, clothes damp and hung off bony limbs like thick fabric curtains, having nowhere else to go but to sit beneath the freeway underpass, endure passing car traffic noise, grating as it is, and wait patiently for Gaia's wet wintertime rage to subside. That last poem was called Downpour.
Thank you, D. Allen. I'm next. I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I. Oh, yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm going to go out this way. Wouldn't mind.
All right, yeah, sure. You couldn't recognize that last name.
Oh, yeah, I know. Beeps. I don't put my normal name on.
Very tricky.
All right. Let me see where I am here.
All right, I am here. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody who has been here and spoken so far and who will speak here. It's an amazing, absolutely amazing, incredible set of poems so far and more to come. And I hope these are amongst those. So someone give me a number from 1 to 4.
3.
Thank you.
5.
I heard 3.
7.
Okay, thank you.
He was out there third.
So I'm going to do this and one other one which may
How
be
do
funny.
we silence this?
Oh, just hand it to me. So you got to hit. Oh, it's going. You have to hit both the buttons like that. Is it still going?
Yes. You can't get.
Yeah, no, I can't. My ear. I'm going to get another one. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is called I Sing, and it's a true story or based on a true story. I admit it. Simply enough, I sing. Sometimes I whistle too. It's a bit odd, I'll admit that for sure. In this world of plugged-in, interconnected disconnection, I am a rare bird. Once I was strolling downtown when I noticed how intent everyone was all around me. They strode quickly along, staring at screens, fingering figures, and oddly, I was moved to whistle an old tune. I loved it. I knew the words, but I couldn't bring myself to sing. I feared I'd be embarrassed, but I couldn't say why. After all, who would hear? It seemed that singing as one walks in a crowd is too interpersonal a thing. But whistling, well, maybe not so much. Even then, it was still almost too crazy odd. Yet there I was, whistling along, the only live performer in the midst of thousands on a bustling downtown business district sidewalk, a musical note among the workaday sidewalk scene where everywhere I glanced, the plugged-in, interconnected, dazed of eye, deaf of ear, and distracted of gaze were intent upon vibrations no one else was aware of. No sharing, no glances, no caring, nor nods. I could but watch as I moved on through them, and so I was free to whistle away, singing along to the song in my mind, of course. Now, I reflected on my resistance to singing as well as the satisfaction of whistling, even as the throng with its many, many widely varied people on the strangely silent sidewalk, each with their rigid face determined and attentive to something else from somewhere else, each with far-away eyes. None of them could hear me, and in that odd kind of public privacy I could whistle on my merry way, which I did as much as I pleased, though I dared not sing. Okay, so in line with the theme of 3, this poem is actually very old, and it was written under the influence of meditation and metaphysics and things like that. So, it doesn't have a title. Curing the ill is not unlike raising the dead. Here, some in coffin bones now opened to the air and sunlight, how an emotion swift, a bright cloud mist transpires, a flurry intense, oh, the air whips the mist about the skull, gleaming through the sockets, whistling wind around the spine, flushing, filling through the light, the ribs, filling out the hips, ah, veil spun out of nowhere, frothing, a cloth bathing the bones in shape, ghost webbing muscles and tendons, the blush of blood and a finale of skin. I open my eyes, smile, I say, wonderful, oh, thank you. He raises me up, I stand made whole, amazed, I face him. He looks at me in the face and slaps me twice real hard, saying, stupid, stupid, it was all your fault, and now my responsibility. Oh, what we pursue, he says, and talks on and on about worldly passions and consumptive woes. So I look about. We're in the middle of nowhere. Trees and hills, there's a stream over there. I cannot get a word in edgewise or otherwise. I look myself over. I look pretty darn good. I grab him, shake him out of it. Thank you, I shout. But he simply stops his raving, turns, and walks away. I call out, you name it, it's been done once, if not 1,000 million uncountable times. He does not respond in any way, and is soon gone from sight. Here I am, so I tell you this, that, all of this is beyond my ability to understand. I would love the knowing, the calling of all I am, but it was quiet. I looked skyward. The blue was as endless as the love. I say, God bless you too, I guess. Thank you.
Natasha Dennerstein is next.
Oh yeah, let me just do the introduction.
Yes, why don't you?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. All right, this is my favorite part of the evening, where to brag on somebody as I look at her in the eyes, going, aha! Now, she has been here before as a feature, at least once, right? So we are familiar with her work. It is beautiful. It's accurate. There's an intensity. I mean, when she does the urban scene kind of, don't do that. When she does the urban scenery, scenes, memories, it's really beautiful, detailed work. Passion, what it means to be or have a real heart in a world such as ours. It's great to have her here. It's really a lot of fun. She said she's going to be singing really old things and new things. So we're going to have a nice mix. Give this wonderful poet a real round of applause as she comes up here. Natasha. Thank you so much. Can you move?
the microphone or this?
This way?
Yeah, a little bit that way, so I don't have her. The background doesn't get.
Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
Thank you so much, Dan, for introducing me so generously, and I'm very honored.
I mean every word of it. It's
I'm
great.
very honored to be featuring at Sacred Ground. The cartographer's mole. If I could draw a map of my heart, the raw regions exposed would be where strips of you were not wrapped. If I could draw a map of my brain, there would be tunnels and a labyrinth with false leads ending in you or not. If I drew a map of my body, those lumps would be bite marks left by you, my contours swollen with you. A map of my life would be crisscrossed with traces of you and covered in references to you and destinations we had been. Coordinates would indicate where you had been and wanted to go and the places where I wouldn't let you in. That map would cover vast areas of me, and magnetic south would point to you, and I would be facing true north. You had lain your rail lines across my ranges, and my terrain has been forever changed. Colonization. I love it. I think that relationships have a colonial aspect to them.
I wish they didn't.
Burnout pathétique, symphonie volantine. Empathy so chic, symphony pathétique, sonata dentata in the mouth of the beast, and your number is 666. Let me give you my digits in the 415. Don't wear them out or you'll wear yourself out. I'm wearing lime green or perhaps more of a chartreuse in polyester fun fur to the fun fair, spun hair, cotton candy. I run to you and run away from you because I'm ambivalent, malevolent, or just a vol au vent filled with smoked fish in a white sauce and screensaver puree of seafront truffles muffled. Throw out your television network because I just can't take it anymore, Faye Dunaway. You know what's hot about you, you're cloven hoof. But you've run away to Fay Ray, King Kong, the beast, you beast, and your number is 666. Call me, yama me, don't wear it out, or you'll burn me out, baby, till a lace pattern is all that remains, till all exoskeleton and no flesh, a blowtorch filigree am I. A blowtorch singer am I, with one sad refrain about my baby that left me and made me feel blue as fountain pen ink, as blue as curacao, copper sulfate solution, but there's none. I'll put on my velveteen cloak, dusky rose, with the anachronistic lining, prison stripes, navy blue, so I can fly away from you and reinstate myself brand new, with self-love, with empathy so chic, in a symphony that's not so pathetique. This next poem is a new one, and I wanted to write something about the present government and the 45th president, but I didn't. I'm not really into writing overt political stuff, and it's just been so horrific. I just couldn't. But I kind of approached it from the perspective of Roman history, which I'm really interested in, and the fall of Rome, Caligula. That was the way in. So it's a poem about Caligula, but I should have just read it.
No, it's fine. I was going to say, it's like it's just almost like you were inspired to some extent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called The Tangerine Caligula. Son of Germanicus, nicknamed Caligula, Latin for the tiny soldiers, boots he wore on campaigns, the start of a lifetime of mockery and ridicule. Tiny boots indeed. These tiny boots are big enough to kick your ass. Caligula lived in prison on the Isle of Capri. Father Germanicus poisoned in Syria. Brother Nero died in exile, suicide via starvation. Other brother Drusus and his mother Agrippina the elder died in prison. The little boy learned to act, to stay alive, nurtured a love of cruelty and torture, smiled outwardly with hatred in his heart. Extreme bitterness towards his captors. Grandfather Tiberius, emperor of Rome, permitted Caligula to live, to ruin himself and all men, to rear a viper for the people of Rome. Caligula visited grandfather Tiberius on his deathbed, smothered him with a pillow, became emperor of Rome, hailed by the people, gave them the bread and circuses they wanted, built the walls they wanted. Cruel and unpredictable, Caligula, dressed in women's gowns of purple gauze and cloth of gold, power mad, suffered from seizures, saw mockery everywhere. If she wasn't my own sister. But Drusilla is not, as I am no longer human. I am a god, so I can impregnate her. Caligula, emperor, ordered executions of perceived rivals throughout the empire, seized estates, his profligate waste bankrupted Rome in 2 years. He built a bridge of boats, floors of marble, fixtures of gold, from Baiae to Puteoli for his own personal use. Rode his horse Incitatus across it. Caligula, assassinated by the Praetorian Guard, ruled as emperor for less than 4 years. His own cruelty turned back on him by Rome, a snake poisoning and eating its own tail. So I've got a couple of really new ones. I was in LA a couple of weeks ago. I've got quite a few friends who are artists that live in downtown LA, DTLA, in the kind of very cheapy warehouse sort of things, having studios in that area, which was kind of interesting. And I walked around a lot and wrote down things that I saw, and then I put them into poems. I collected images. So there's a couple of poems from that. So I went around the Fabric District, and I don't know if people have been around there. Santee Alley was all the cheap clothes, and the Pinata District, which I love. Anyhow, this one's called Aspic Lipstick Fabric District Prayer. I want to fabricate me a revenge dress to slay it. Want to see bitches exercise their female gaze through dusky rose gauze netting over my Vion Rose ass. Shopping for a killer fluoro fuchsia fun fur fabric for a cape, a bolero, a shrug for those cool limo nights, legs for days, stepping out in my 6-inch bronze spikes, seafoam sequined by the yard, or rosebud brocade for the underdress, skin tight, bodycon, hug me in all the wrong places. Oh, fashion goddesses, bless me with palettes and blind tulle, help me look fabulous, renovate my second-hand heart, make me look $1 million for 120, make me red carpet ready by Thursday. Amen. And here's another one, a quinceañera frock of Fanta. You two swagger down Fluoro Lime, Santee Alley, DTLA, immediately recognizable white wife beater, black jeans. I bought them for you, $49.99. Cuban heels to stomp on hearts, she and her lame bedazzled cap, Daisy Jukes, off-the-shoulder bleeding heart t-shirt, cowboy boots. You two holding hands like fuchsia lovers, which is what you are, despite denial. I want to chop off your hands, shove them up your asses, but I'm a lady, dignified, tail you, watch you try on a mauve bandana, not very gangster, see rat face buy some stars and striped socks, how patriotic. Shed 3 tears behind my amber aviators, try on an apricot golden lurex cat suit, lose you, find you again, sharing Fantas and bacon-wrapped hot dogs, she buying. Some things never change. And here's one that's, well, it's just, you know, I play with techniques, you know, sometimes I walk around and I just write down things that I see, then I come home and try and put them all in a poem, or I'll take the 10 best things out of the list of 37. And this one's it's a similar technique, but it's set in Oakland, where I've recently moved to, and I've written quite a few of these. I love all that kind of decaying light industry around Alameda, the bridge that goes over there. So I've set a few poems there. This one's called Post-Industrial Idyllic. East 12th Street, Oakland, the decaying light industry harmonizes with the warehouses alongside the BART line, the disused freight train tracks, the bridge to Alameda. The signs are a song, American Emperor, Overseas Asiatic Coalition, Union Meat Company, 5 Harvest Wholesale, and Fidelity Packaging, where cheating-ass boys in unsmogged cars get side-eyed from their side bitches in the back lane, or get BJs from CDs on the DL. East 12th Street, where the potholes hum in B minor and the gas stations and auto body repair yards sing a chord with the discount furniture warehouses. You find your tune again by the Meccano drawbridge, under the overpass, over the railway crossing, fantasizing better days to come. The rainbow of injury. 1. You see red the first time he hits you. You're amazed how much blood spurts out of such a small wound. How the splatter pattern of that bashing is a Jackson Pollock dripping down the drywall of your mind. 2. Nothing comes up the next day, but the morning after you are shocked to look in the mirror and see an angry petunia eye looking back at you. Purple as a fallen summer plum, Welch's grape jelly, ripe, split fig face you. 3. Are you blue? Your bruises solidify into a dense inky mass, blotted, Rorschach, you are blue. 4. Green, bilious green, around your eye a spearmint shade of mothwing like flame of burning plastic. You feel a bit sick. 5. Your bruises turn jaundiced yellow just before he hits you the second time. You are a sucker for love, but you're not a fucking idiot for it. You load and cock your Glock and wait. You are not too yellow for this. 6. Orange. You're wearing it in the correctional facility where you prove unable to be corrected. You wait. You brush and braid your hair, file your nails, sew other bitches' torn clothes, and wait. How's the time?
Oh, you're like 6, 7 or something.
Okay. So some of my poems are very dark, domestic violence and rape and what have you, but it's trafficked women, and so It's inconceivable. I am sorry, son. I am not sorry, son. I still love the boy you were, but I am having trouble with the man you have become. It is hard when a loved one turns. When I saw my missing filleting knife, Exhibit A, something in me shifted. I wish I could reverse your life and watch you getting smaller, shrink you down to a little boy again, back into a baby, back into my body, suck the afterbirth back in, the amniotic fluid, and turn you back into an embryo and deconceive you, son. When I heard about that girl, I wished for her that you had killed her. She will never again be the same. It will happen again in her dreams, as it has in mine, since it was done to me when you were conceived, son. You may meet your father in prison. I have never seen his face. He was wearing a balaclava. Last one. I was a nurse for a long time until I got compassion fatigue and, and sort of moved on to other things once from writing. But I've got this poem that came out of my years of nursing. Emergency. It's got an exclamation mark. So, emergency. She goes to work every afternoon in the emergency department, and she boards a superseded vessel on a treacherous sea, and the captain is a colossal squid, and the crew are diagnosed with drug-induced psychosis. The patients are squawking fledglings abandoned in a nest, and their wounds are gaping mouths. She feeds them diazepam, oxazepam, lorazepam, and other PAMs, but they're still hungry for blood and intravenous fluids, and they still want changing. She is the Indian goddess Kali with many arms and a blue face, and she smokes secretly, privately, in the fire escape, and the smoke is saffron. The accident victims have pizza faces and butcher shop limbs, and their cries are winter waves smashing on graphite rocks, and their car wrecks are a pasta of metal and flesh. She is a hungry dog, and she wolfs down her tea, and her tea is a piece of putrid meat. The patients can harm themselves, and they cannot heal themselves, and they run in screaming, "It's an emergency! I'm in love!" And the intercourse is an addiction, and the pregnancy is a trauma, and the childbirth is a piece of litigation waiting to happen. And they all say, "Help me, help me!" And she cannot help them, and their cries are stones in a bottomless well. She gives them a drink of love, 125 cc's in a styrofoam cup, and they are healed. Their wounds are pink zippers, and their skin is a leather garment, and they are all done up, and they are going home. She is going home, and she abandons the vessel on a paper life raft, and the life raft is made of Lancet medical journals and last year's People magazines and yellow newspapers, and the forecast is for rain. Thank you.
Wow.
Sergeant Dempsey, ladies and gentlemen, our feature of the evening. All right. Wow. I like to say I told you so.
Yes, that was quite wonderful. And now, Greg Pond.
Oh wait, no, we're gonna do a break.
Oh, we're doing a break.
We're gonna do a break. Sorry, I should realize we're gonna usually after the feature we do a break. I'm sorry. I'm not doing very well this evening. I already made my full scale of it. Oh yeah, I know. See, it's like.
Oh, I see. That's what that means.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, it's all right.
Just trying.
You're trying, and I am helpful.
All right.
Here. So
how long is the break?
Yes. A little late, 5 to 10 minutes. We got. I'm hoping you want to go. Okay. So we got Martin Joseph, Greg Pond, James Conrad, Bill Mercer, if he's still here and still wants it, because sometimes he comes and doesn't want to. Garrett Murphy, Karen Milano Maguna Mini, and then Marco Harps and Gary. Mark, you're here. I saw you come in, so we're ready to go. So now, this machine will be off, by the way, so you don't have to worry about your voice being recorded by the surreptitious means. Yes.